wants a noodle, I'll throw them to you like at Benihana. It's almost like a lamb ragu bake. Fresh tomatoes, white wine. She's fancy. I hate to say it, but God, I'm a good cook. Today we are making spring lamb and fennel pasta. There are those recipes that you want to make on a weeknight, but then there's those recipes that you kind of want to show off when you entertain. This can be both. It's light, it's got that springy flavor, but it's still hearty and comforting and delicious. But the flavors are impressive enough to serve a crowd. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Now you can use ground beef with this, but I really recommend using some ground lamb. It just adds like that nice, just a little bit more elegant, rich, and earthy flavor to a dish. Start off with just a little bit of olive oil, and we're gonna break it up until it's nice and cooked through. All right, while that's browning, chop up some fennel. Now I'm gonna save some of these fennel fronds for garnish at the end. But if you're new to cooking with fennel, it's gonna add like a nice anise flavor. We're just gonna dice that up. All right, once your lamb is no longer pink, you're gonna drain off the excess fat. Really quick, I'm gonna add my pasta because it's gonna take 12 minutes to cook. Any type of rigatoni is gonna work here. I have these kind of smaller, shorter rigatonis, and I'm only gonna use half a bag, so about 9 ounces. We've got the fennel going in, garlic. I've got about 4 cloves minced, 2 teaspoons of salt. This is seasoning not only the meat, but all that pasta for later too. And as much black pepper as you want. I love about a teaspoon of it in this recipe. Saute this up until that fennel is just tender, which will take about 4 minutes. All right, while that's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my herbs ready for the next part. I've got lots of tarragon. We're gonna do like 2 heaping tablespoons of minced tarragon. And again, this is just gonna enhance that, like, I don't know, kind of a anisey flavor with the fennel and bring in those spring, light, airy, and just unique vibes to this dish. You're just gonna kind of take the stem and just pull those leaves right off so that you can mince them up. Now, if you can't find tarragon, fresh basil is great here. A tomato basil situation is always a good idea. It's looking like that's pretty tender. We're gonna add a couple things to the base of this. We've got some anchovy paste, and I know all you anchovy haters are gonna turn up your nose, but anchovy paste is a secret weapon in any good pasta sauce. It's gonna add that umami flavor. It doesn't taste fishy, just trust me. About 2 teaspoons of that, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Okay, and then my favorite part, Calabrian chili paste. This is gonna add a nice element of heat and flavor to the dish. The combination of Calabrian chilies with lamb meat is an elite combo in my opinion. You just want to kind of like mix it up to where it's kind of thick and chunky for a second. And then we're gonna add some more bright, acidic flavor with some white wine. 2/3 a cup. Just kind of pour that in while stirring until it's well combined. And you want this to simmer and kind of reduce by about half, which will take a minute or 2. Cherry tomatoes. We've got 24 ounces of that going right into here. And an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Not to be confused with marinara, but you could use just like a cup of marinara if you can't find tomato sauce like this. This is also when you add all your herbs. Let me chop up that tarragon. And again, this is where you could swap in some freshly chopped fresh basil. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of parsley as well. Give this a stir. It's already kind of simmering. You want it like at a nice steady simmer, but not boiling. And we want to cook this until these cherry tomatoes begin to blister and burst open. So about 5 minutes covered. I need to see if it's al dente or not because my timer didn't set. 2 al dente. We're gonna real quick make our crumb topping. This is gonna just add some nice texture over the top of this dish. So I've got just some panko breadcrumbs, some more fresh tarragon, some olive oil. This is just gonna make it to where it coats those breadcrumbs where it doesn't burn, and then just a pinch of salt. Give that a good stir, and we'll just set this aside. I'm gonna drain the pasta. Now you can see these cherry tomatoes are starting to kind of blister. We're just gonna help it out a little bit more by popping them open. You can use the edge of a spoon for this, but if you have a potato masher, this is the way to go. You can have some whole tomatoes in there, but I like to get them pretty mashed. They release all that good juicy flavor with a little bit of sweetness, but you still kind of have those bits of fresh tomatoes, which again, make this just feel a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. All right, I'm gonna turn down that heat to off. Let's add in our cooked pasta. It's almost like a lamb ragu bake with fennel and tarragon, fresh tomatoes, white wine. I mean, she's fancy and she's all over my kitchen, but not on my shirt. So once you feel like those are well coated, you're just gonna spread into a single layer, add a few back in. Just gonna slice this kind of like a lasagna. This is a mozzarella. Do thin slices to really make it go a long way. Put it in a single layer. I'm just gonna melt right on the top. And then these beautiful breadcrumbs, which is gonna add just a nice texture. I mean, are you guys picking up what I'm putting out or what? We're gonna pop this in the oven, 400 for just like 10 minutes. You want this hot, bubbly, the mozzarella's melted, and then those panko breadcrumbs are golden right on the top. Yum. So I got this out of the oven. You can tell that cheese is melty and this panko breadcrumb combination has got that nice golden touch to it. I want to let this sit. It's kind of like a lasagna situation. You don't want to eat it right away because that sauce needs a minute to settle and kind of cool so that it's just not so loose. I've got some fennel fronds that I'm just gonna garnish right on top. And there you have spring lamb and fennel pasta. Time for the best part. Wow. I hate to say it, but God, I'm a good cook. But seriously, the cherry tomatoes, the lamb, the fennel, the white wine, the crunchies on top, this is a stellar dish. You guys should make it for your friends. This recipe is new today on thedefineddish.com. You can find it there, plus a lot of other delicious spring-inspired recipes for the season. Cheers.